Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Have a market update for you guys. Want to let you know what I think is going on in the markets, why we're having a little bit of a correction now. Are we going to get a deeper correction? We'll get into all that in this video. I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. Alright, so we've had a little bit of a correction in the market recently, and I think we're probably going to get a further dip. I'm going to cover that in this video, how far I think Bitcoin could get down to, and what the effect that's going to have on these alts and the rest of the market over the coming months here. I've been talking about, correction coming for a long time on my channel. I'm surprised we haven't had it earlier, but we're just starting to see a little bit of a dip in the market, so let's jump into it here. So we got the total market cap of crypto down to about 1.6 trillion. Bitcoin under 40,000 hit, as of this recording, it got all the way down to like 39,400 already, and it looks like it's dipping further. So by the time this video comes out, could have been a bigger dip than this. But Solana actually got down to under $83, and Cardano's under 48 cents, and so on here. So kind of a correction going on in the market. ICP at $10.46. That's coming into a good buy zone. Now, we could keep coming lower. Optimism under $3. So just kind of a correction in the market here. I think this has been due. Caspa's under 10 cents. H-bar's down to 7 cents. So let's jump into the chart here. It's showing that we could, if we look at the fib retracement levels here, it's showing that we could come down to 36,000 for Bitcoin. That's really going to push these alts a lot lower than what they're at currently if that happens, and we could get as low as possibly down to 32,000 here. If we do a measurement here from the peak of where Bitcoin topped out all the way down to this 36,000 level, that's going to be like a 26% correction. And then if we get all the way down to this 32,000 level, that's going to be that 35% correction that I've been telling you about that typically happens in these market cycles. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you for sure that this is going to happen, but I would say this 36,000, now that we're under the 40,000 mark, is likely. And, it's possible that even by the time this video comes out, that happens. I just have to record this while I have time this week because I have a very busy work schedule. I'm working days and nights, so trying to get these videos recorded while I have time to get them out to you. Otherwise, the video might not come out at all because like last night I worked all night after working all day. So we got here Solana. If we look at this here, it's showing like it could get down to $75, actually $73.80, somewhere around there, 60 cents, 73.60. So under that $75 mark that I was telling you about. And then if it dips down further here, we're looking at a $61 Solana. And if it got down to the next level, you're looking at like a $43 Solana, somewhere around that range if it dipped down that hard. If Bitcoin were to get down to that 36,000, you're going to likely see, this get down to at least the $73 level, if not down to this $60 level. And then if Bitcoin got down to that $32,000 level, you could see it somewhere in this range here between this $40 and $60 as a possibility. So keep that in mind. We do get these deep corrections in crypto. It's pretty normal that these happen. If you look at what's happened historically, we'll jump into that here. So let's look at the Wyckoff cheat sheet here. This is the Wall Street cheat sheet with a Wyckoff pattern, sort of. And a lot of people, I think we're in this disbelief. People think we're in this disbelief phase here, which if you look over here, it's basically right here. This would be the disbelief phase, and then we get a correction at the end of it, which I think is kind of where we're headed towards, and then we take off into the main bull run. And I can't tell you for sure that we're going to come down to this 36,000 level, but that's kind of what we're looking like could happen here. Now, we could be just taking a breather, and then we shoot back up into 50,000. So it could go really either way, but the fib retracement is showing that we come down to this $36,000 level. If we look at the psychology of a market again here, this is another Wyckoff accumulation chart. Typically, we're in this disbelief phase, and that's what this looks like here. It comes up, we have a rally, and then we slowly start coming down, and then we get a deep correction, and then we bounce back, and we have this spring here, and we start taking off into the bull run. So likely, we could get this big dip down. Maybe we dip down to 36 or 32,000, depending on how deep it gets. And then we take off into the main bull run. in my opinion, if that happens, you know, try not to panic sell, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to sell right when it dips down here, because you're afraid that Bitcoin's going to 15,000 again, and oh my God, I better sell now, because if I sell now, I could buy in cheaper. Well, don't fall for that trap, is my opinion on that. So if we look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, this is pretty typical. The last bear cycle, we got all the way up into this yellow zone before we had this deep correction down into the green here. This doesn't count because this was COVID, so we got to ignore that because that was a black swan event. Hopefully we don't get another black swan event. It's not very likely. But we had this where you got up and down into the green zone again, and then we would have taken off into the bull run in 2020. So it's not, you know, it's not impossible for these deep corrections to happen. They're typical, they're normal for crypto. This is what typically happens. It's a normal part of the cycle, and that's why I stress for people to take profits when we have these big pumps like this, because the retracement is very likely, and then we take off into the main bull run. Now, it's not guaranteed by any means, so we don't know for sure what's going to happen with that. So I can't tell you for sure if this is going to happen. I can just tell you what the market is looking like right now and what the charts are saying. The charts don't, they don't predict the future. They tell you what can happen based off from, previous events, based off from the history. And that's why I try to tell you guys that, I go off from what the crypto markets have historically done. They've historically had these 4-year cycles. I don't care what other people say about, oh, no, it's different this time. It has never been different this time, and everybody says it's going to be different this time, and it never ends up being different this time. So I go off from what the previous cycles have told us, and the previous cycles have told us that we get a pump right towards the end of this cycle where we get towards the halving, and then we have a big correction, and then we take off into the bull market after the correction and after the halving event. So will that be different this time? Maybe. Maybe we're just taking a little breather and we take off back to 50,000 again with Bitcoin. I can't tell you guys for sure. So the best thing to do is to not try to predict what's going to happen. The best thing to do is to react to what happens. My reaction to that is to buy at lower prices if we get the correction. You don't want to sell your coins now thinking that we're going to 36,000 or 32,000, because it might not happen, and then you can't buy back in, if we take off higher. So I'm not saying to sell your coins. That's not what you want to do. I'm just saying to you, while you're on the way up, you want to take out some profits, because we're likely to get a correction. And then, if we don't get that correction for some reason, you can always reinvest those profits into coins that haven't launched yet or haven't pumped yet. That's the safest thing to do, in my opinion. And then if you just want to hold until we get into the main bull run, that's another option for you to do too. That's perfectly safe and perfectly fine to do. Now, I can't guarantee this. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what my opinions are. Like my ICP, I'm just holding on to it. I haven't taken any profits on that. I haven't taken any profits on my Miria, even though it pumped like 10x from its original price point, just because I can see another 10x coming out of Miria from where it was at, and now it's down quite a bit, and it's coming into a good buying zone again. So, you just never know exactly for sure what the markets are going to do. So you try to react to them. Don't predict what they're going to do, because when you try to predict what the markets are going to do, that's when you can get burned. So I'm not telling you that we're going to 36,000 or 32,000. I'm telling you that it's possible we could do this, and it's likely that we could do this, but it's not guaranteed by any means. So don't sell your coins counting on us going lower, and then for some reason we don't, and then you're like, Dean told me to sell his coins. No, I didn't tell you to sell your coins. I'm not telling you to sell your coins. I'm telling you that this could happen. In my opinion, the best thing to do if this happens is to try to buy some more at the lower prices, get your dollar cost average lower, and then when we take off again, it doesn't take as much money, or it doesn't take as much of a price to get into profit at that point. That's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Please give this video a quick like for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to hit your daily notification bell so you get notified of my daily videos. And I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to check out my Telegram. The link is in the description below. That's what I got for this video, guys. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you on the next video. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. Tell me.